if you do these things, a lot of guys will start to see improvement in their shoulder pain. Hi, I'm Mark McCulley with Live Anabolic, and I want to talk to you about shoulders today. And this is not really how to work out your shoulders, but how to train them without getting injured. Or for you guys that already have injuries, what should you do? All right, how do you rehab those injuries? How do you work around the injuries and still get a shoulder workout in? And I want to talk about this because this comes up all the time in our Facebook group. So for those of you who are here on YouTube and don't know about it, we have a fantastic Facebook group. Over 16,000 guys all around the world, just like you, all right? No young guys in there. Everybody's my age, right? 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. And the reason I'm talking about this today is because I get a ton of questions and comments in that Facebook group and complaints basically about their shoulders, all right? So, you know, my shoulder hurts, what should I do? I can't do certain exercises in Mark's Fit After 50 program, you know, what should I do instead? You know, it goes on and on and on. So, guys, your shoulder is the most flexible joint in your whole body. And that's really good. You know, we need that flexibility to do all these kind of crazy things and go in all these different planes, okay? But the drawback to that is because it's so flexible, it also makes it fairly weak and fairly easy to injure. And I'm sure you guys know that. I don't even have to tell you how easy it is to hurt your shoulders. So guys, I'm gonna tell you how to warm up so that when you do a shoulder workout or a chest workout or a back workout or pretty much any upper body workout, that you won't make your shoulders worse, okay? Also, a lot of the things I'm gonna show you today will actually work kind of like rehab exercises, so that if you already have an injury, if you do it over a period of months, I guarantee you your shoulders will start to feel better. And for some of you guys, you'll actually be able to do certain shoulder exercises that you weren't able to do prior, okay? So before I get in, I got 4 different tips, guys, and some of these tips have got lots of different neat things in them. So this is gonna be an interesting video with a lot of information, so please stick around. But before I start the 4 tips, okay, and we get into the actual details of the exercises and stretches and warm-ups, just please check out our Facebook group. I ran into a guy at the gym this week, okay? I just joined Lifetime Fitness, okay? It's a really swanky gym for you guys that don't know. I've been working out at Gold's for 25, 30 years. And so I was in there one day, I didn't know anybody, I'm kind of walking around, this guy comes up to me because he recognized me from this YouTube channel. And I said, hey, you need to, he was super nice, Carlos, super nice guy. And I said, you got to join the Facebook group, man, because it's just free. There's tons of, and nope, not going to do it. He hates social media. I said, dude, I get it. I do too. I don't like Facebook, all right? But this is a no-brainer. He still wouldn't do it, all right? So don't be like Carlos. He's a great guy, but he's refusing all the really cool stuff that pops up in our Facebook group, stuff that you don't see here on YouTube. So anyway, guys, click the link below. Just give it a try. You don't have to use your own name. You don't have to put any pictures of yourself. You can be completely anonymous. It's basically a no-brainer free gift that we give you guys. So please take advantage of it. Okay, so tip number 1, guys. These are basically warm-up mobility exercise. So we're not really going to be stretching so much as we're just kind of warming up the joint. So remember, guys, a lot of people think, you know, that we're warming up the muscles, all right? So in this case, we're really warming up the tendons and the ligaments and the joint itself, all right? The muscles, yes, also, but because this joint is so unique, it's got a lot of moving parts in there, and man, we really need to warm those things up. So I'm just gonna be, this is really what I do at the gym. All right, now I call this the flap. So I go back and forth, and I switch which arm is on top every time. Left arm on top, right arm. Okay, this is no big deal, but guys, I am just kind of slowly warming up, okay, the joint. And then I go to the swirls, all right? And remember, you got to do these swirls both directions, all right? So then you got to turn around and do it the other way. And there's no set number that I do. I just kind of do it until I can feel my shoulder joint starting to get loose, all right, and feel better, not so tight. All right. All right, after I've done the swirls, I might do some more flaps. All right. This is another one I like to do. Just grab your wrist, and I call these like one arm overhead pull. So I kind of pull it this way. So pull it so the bicep, my right bicep is touching my right ear, and I can kind of even lean over a little bit, okay? And just hold it for a few seconds. You don't have to overdo it. You know, don't pull so hard that you actually hurt, all right? But just all right, back to the flaps, maybe a few swirls, all right. Other direction. And I'm, you know, my shoulders, my joint is really starting to feel much better now than when I first started talking to you guys. Now, here's another one. These are called goal posts. Now, a lot of times you might want to get up against a wall and try to do this, but get your arms up here and bring your elbows back so that they're basically in a plane with your back. And then do basically the goal post. So you guys that don't have a lot of flexibility, you know, your elbows might be up here, all right, a little forward. But try to get those elbows back and then straight up and straight down. So if you can go and get against a wall. All right, so I had to walk around my house and find a wall that doesn't have a mirror or a painting or something on it. So here we go. So back against the wall, elbows in the back of my hands, and I'm just trying to go up and down. Now, if this hurts your shoulder, if you can't do this, if you can't get it all the way back, all right, you can kind of bring your hands forward a little bit. Bring your elbows forward and then go up and down. So you do this for a while, get that joint kind of loose, and then try to get your elbows back now. Now see how my hands are forward? And then try to get your hands back. So the elbows and the back of your hand. And whoo, man. So guys, if that hurts and you don't have that mobility, that's okay. Just do this out in the middle of the room somewhere. So get the elbows back, straight up and down. Do that 8 or 10 times. And then I'm going to show you one more thing we can do to warm up. All right, so everybody's got these bands, right? You're doing Fit After 50. It requires resistance bands. So just grab a band, all right? And then for guys who've got shoulders that are really stiff and not very mobile, you can grab it out pretty wide and just, and then bring it down so that the band hits you in the back of the butt and then back over the top. And it hits your thighs, okay? Up and over and back. An overhead breaker. And then guys, if you want to push it a little harder, get you a thicker band, you know, with more resistance, or grab the same band, but don't grab it out so far. So now when you stretch, there's a lot of tension here. So now I'm going to feel a little bit more tension. And some of you guys will see people doing this with like a broomstick or something like that. That's fine too. All right. But guys, these are lots of different ways to warm up that joint, okay? Now, we really haven't put a lot of stress on it yet. We're just kind of doing mobility exercises. And I like to do these first before I go into the actual weighted warm-ups. All right, so now since we've finished our mobility warm-ups, let's start doing some warm-up exercises where we add a little bit of weight, the resistance to the muscles, okay, and to the joint itself. So I really like to do rows, guys. Most people don't even think about this, but do some bent over rows, one arm at a time is fine. You know, you can brace yourself. For you guys with bad lower backs, brace yourself, okay, on your offside knee and just do some basic rows. It doesn't need to be heavyweight at all, okay? All you're doing is loading up that joint, and these rows are activating a lot of the muscles in your upper back and your rear delts. So guys, remember your shoulder is comprised of 3 primary muscle groups. You got the front muscles the laterals and the rear heads. So most of the exercises that we do to warm up typically hit the front and lateral heads. Very few get the rear. So these bent over rows are really good for getting the muscles in your upper back and your rear delts, because, you know, all these upper back muscles wrap around and tie in, you know, to your upper arm. And so there's a ton of little muscles going in all these different directions around your shoulder joint. It's kind of hard to get them all right? So that's why I'm going to give you several different exercises to do to warm up that joint. So bent over rows is the first exercise. All right, so remember, we got, you know, all these different muscles that tie into your shoulder joint, and so we need to warm up some of them in the front now. So those bent over rows, we're working primarily the muscles in your back around your shoulder, and let's warm up some of the ones in the front around your shoulder. So you can do push-ups. So guys, all right, that are in shape and can do push-ups without any problem, just knock out about 7 or 8 push-ups. You don't really need to, you know, push yourself hard, no pun intended. All right, this is just to kind of put a light load on that. Now, some guys, push-ups are really tough. It's because you're carrying a lot of extra weight in the form of fat that I don't have to push up and down, but you do, so that's really hard. So just do them on your knees, okay? Make those push-ups easy. I don't want this to be hard, okay? Remember, all these things are just light exercises. We're not putting much stress on our joint or the muscles. Now, you guys can do elevated push-ups, and if those on your knees were too hard for you, do elevated on your knees, all right? So I'm just here. This is an even easier way to do a push-up, all right? And we're still getting the blood flowing to lots of different muscle groups in your shoulder. Man, there's a ton of things going on up there. And remember, all these muscles and tendons and ligaments are going in different directions. And that's why I'm having you do so many different types of exercises to warm up that joint. All right, so here's another really good exercise to do just to warm up that joint. Just do shoulder shrugs, all right? So get a couple of dumbbells here, and all you're gonna do is just shrug, okay? I think these actually feel really good on my joints. I like to hold it for, you know, a 1 or 2 count, and then let it go all the way down and kind of stretch everything out. Shrug up here, squeeze, and then back down. So you can do 10, 12, 15 of these shrugs. And then finally, guys, some rear delt flies. You can use either really light dumbbells, probably 5-pounders, or you can use no weight at all right? So a rear delt fly is you just bend over, let your arms hang down, and then bring your arms all the way out, okay? I'm basically doing a rear fly. So once again, I'm activating the rear part of my delts and also a lot of the muscles in my upper back, my rhomboids and my traps. Lots of different muscles up there. So guys, what was that, about 4, maybe 5 different exercises? And don't do these to the point of failure. So I wanted to be really, really easy. Use a very light weight that's super easy to do. And because it's so light, you'll probably be able to do 30 or 40 if you were pushing yourself. But I don't want you to push yourself. Remember, stop at about 10, all right? You don't want to really do anything to an extreme at this point. We're still just basically doing little baby weights and keeping the rep count relatively low, 8, 10, 12 reps. I don't want you to get anywhere near fatigue. All right, so let's move on to tip number 3. Well, the first 2 tips were basically how to warm up, how to stretch, all right? Now, I'm ready to jump into my workout. And the workout could be a chest workout, it could be a shoulder-specific workout, okay? It could be a back workout, it doesn't matter. So I want you to go to the very first exercise in whatever workout you're doing. Let's say it is a shoulder specific workout day, okay? And you're only focusing on shoulders. And let's say the very first exercise is seated dumbbell overhead presses, all right? So do you just throw on the weight that you're normally gonna do and knock it out? Nobody should do that, all right? So let's say, for example, you're gonna be doing 40-pound dumbbells overhead press as your basically your maximum weight or your working weight, all right? So don't pick up 40-pound dumbbells. I want you to pick up, say, a 10-pound dumbbell. So start with a really lightweight, probably a third of what you're ultimately gonna do for your working sets. 10-pound dumbbells should feel really light for you if you're gonna be using 40-pound dumbbells for your working sets. Do one set of 10. All right, 10 pounders, knock out. You only need to knock out 8 or 10 reps. It should feel really light and really easy for you. Put it down, rest for a minute, all right? Now I want you to pick up some 15-pound dumbbells. Basically, we were working our way up to our working weight sets, all right? Then do a set of 15-pounders, 8, 10 reps. It should also feel really light, really easy. But see what we're doing, all right? We're letting the muscles, the ligaments, the joint, and also the mind-muscle connection kind of all start to kick in, all right? I like to do 3 warm-up sets, and each one of my warm-up sets is a little bit heavier than the previous, but still much lighter than my ultimate working weight that I'm gonna be using. So the third warm-up set might be 20-pound dumbbells, or maybe even 20 pounds if you're gonna go up to 40s, all right? So you've done 3 sets, all right? You rest in between each set, just like normal. Okay, now it's time for you to do the actual exercise with the full working weight for you. So I might be doing 60-pound dumbbells for my working weight. Some guys on here might be beginners. You might be doing 20 pounds for your working weight, right? You might be doing 3 sets of 20 pounds. Well, you need to warm up with, say, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and 15 pounds before you get to the 20-pound, ultimate weight. Now, I realize I'm just kind of rambling on. This is getting kind of boring, okay? There's not a lot of stuff to look at right now, but this concept of warming up and working up to the weight that you're gonna use is something everybody does that's really serious about working out. I'm talking about professional bodybuilders. They all do these real gentle, lightweight warm-up sets before they really get into heavy weights where they're pushing themselves. Okay, so the 4th tip, and I know this is getting kind of boring and long-winded, okay? This is an important joint, and it's something that so many guys, have a problem with. So the 4th one is, if you can't do full range of motion, which is what a lot of you guys have a problem with, what should you do? And typically, that involves pushing your hands over your head, okay? That is typically the motion that bothers most guys. So here we go. I don't care what it is. Let's say you can't get all the way up, but you might be able to do some partial reps. So this is the first thing you should try. Do partial range of motion, all right? Go to the point where it starts to hurt your shoulders, all right? And so if you can get to here before it starts hurting, stop there and just do partial range of motion. So listen to your body, guys. But some guys can't do that at all. You can't even do partial range. So here is the substitute exercise you should do for shoulders. Lateral raises with dumbbells or with bands, okay? Almost everybody can do that exercise because look, that's about as high as you need to go with lateral dumbbells or with bands. You don't need to go all the way up here because that's where it starts to bother your joint. So I love lateral raises. I do them all the time. That's one of my primary exercises I do for my shoulders. So you guys with bad joints, you can do this, and some of you guys can't get this high. Your shoulders are so messed up. Do partial range of motion. All right. For some reason, shoulders, I think that muscle group responds to partial range of motion better than most other muscle groups in your body. All right. So even if you're just doing a relatively light weight and you're only going this high, you can do it real slow, all right, and then hold it and then control it down hold it, control it down, and you can really feel a fantastic burn. And I don't mean inside the joint burn, I mean a muscle burn. Of course, that's what we're looking for. You'll get a great pump, and you'll get really a good shoulder workout just doing those partial range of motions, either up here or with your lateral raises, okay? I would love it if you can get this high, but you guys, everybody's different, so you have to listen to your body and adjust. So the other thing I want to finish up with is, if you do these things, all right, these 4 different tips basically, and all these warm-up exercises and all these warm-up mobility exercises, a lot of guys will start to see improvement in their shoulder pain. It's basically you're rehabbing your shoulder, all right? And it doesn't happen typically over a period of weeks. Usually it's over a period of months. But I've had plenty of guys email me or post here on our Facebook group that, you know, after doing all this stuff for 3, 4, 6 months sometimes, all of a sudden they start to notice, oh my gosh, you know, I can do this now. Now, they may only be doing 5-pound dumbbells, but they couldn't even lift their hands above their head, all right, before they started doing those. So guys, the point is, if you do this on a consistent basis and really stick with it, all right, don't just do it for a few weeks and then give up. This is something you should always do. And I promise a lot of you guys, not all of you, but a lot of you guys are going to see such a big improvement with your shoulder joints. You're going to be able to not just lift more weight, but you're going to be able to do exercises that you couldn't even attempt before, all right? So that's the cool thing. So remember, guys, if you stick with it and never give up on yourself, I promise your shoulders are going to get better and you're going to love the results.